Eye on Southwest Louisiana Sports, sponsored by Gordon McKernan.
Welcome to This Week on Eye on Sports. I'm Jim Gazzolo, along with Daryl Burckel, president of McNeese. You've been on it before, never in times like this.
Never in times like this.
I'm going to get the first question out. It's a personal question. As the father of an incoming freshman, can I get my daughter out of the house and on campus in the fall?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
All right. That's all. That's all I
Send
care
her on,
about.
Jim. Send her over.
That's all I care about.
I'm sure that's all she cares about.
Probably right about now. But I do want to ask you, what is the plans for campus, and what's going on in the summer right now?
Well, right now, summer school has started. It started Monday, and we made a decision back in the spring to be online for the summer, so we knew we had a clear plan for the summer, being online. Now, some of the things that is happening now that things are loosening up, what you're going to find is that some of the classes may wind up coming on campus to have labs or coming in to have tests.
Mm-hmm.
But every course right now is online. So we're going to little by little try to figure out how to bring our students back. But when it gets to the fall, we plan on giving some autonomy and not being dictated to by Baton Rouge. We would like to have our students on campus, depending upon what I guess the guidance or really the criteria dictates that come from Baton Rouge could override any of that, and then we would have to be in a situation where we would probably have, just like we are right now, no more than 50% of every classroom can be full.
Yeah.
With social distancing, strongly recommend masks. And we can be way down the road. We can be in phase 3, which was supposed to be pre-pandemic, right, according to the president's gating. Yeah. So phase 3 means we're all the way back. So we can be in that, but the criteria that's come down from the Board of Regents still has us in phase 2 when we're in phase 3. So it's very possible that we will be restricted in how much on-campus activity we will have.
This is a sports show, so I will get to sports in a minute.
I know.
But I wanted to give you a chance to get this out there.
But it impacts everything.
I'm going to lead to that. But expectations of, we've all heard about a comeback of this virus and all that, is a lot of because we had seen a lot of off-campus and internet learning before.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of the wave now of the future, or do you still see a reason to go on campus?
For 18 to 25-year-old students, they want to be on campus, in person, away from home.
Well, no one does.
But no, but the thing that we found over the spring when we went completely online is how badly our students wanted to be on campus, that they did not like the online. It's not they didn't like the online experience. They missed the social interaction and being with friends and being in the learning environment of face-to-face. They wanted that.
I agree with
and
that.
They still want that. They don't mind supplementing their course load with an online class, but to be completely online, they don't want that. They want to be in a campus environment.
Well, it's their social community.
It is,
and it's hard. I don't know what I would have done.
Well, you miss. What do you when you're not on campus, you are missing a whole part of life that helps you to mature, to grow up. You make connections for the rest of your life. You network with people that will be lifelong friends. So that can be.
Well, I probably could have missed some things when I was on campus, but you have had to make plans for if this returns.
Yeah.
I know my wife, who's the superintendent of Catholic schools, has made 100 plans.
We have plans coming out the wazoo.
But now getting into the sports aspect of this.
Yeah.
First of all, you have put on hold your search for an athletic director.
Yeah.
Tanner Stein has done the job under unique circumstances, I would say. But is the virus the reason for that, or is it just a look of, we don't really want to commit to anything new until we see what's going on?
I think it all of that plays in. I think the virus was a part of it. The day that we were thinking about making a decision, the news came out that we had a $1 billion deficit in the legislature, and how was that going to be filled? So budget uncertainties led a lot to this, and also as we went through the search process, we just didn't have the candidates. And I don't want to say the quality of candidates, but we didn't find what we were looking for.
Part of that might be the fact that a lot of people didn't want to move at that certain time as well.
Very much.
There's uncertainty going on. They don't want to be another up and move their family when they don't know where they're going. Right. They're almost better just staying and seeing.
Because during that time, a lot of athletic departments were announcing cuts and removal of sports. that they were cutting sports. So a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of times in uncertainty, you don't move. You don't think about going anywhere.
And that leads me to my next question, which is we've seen schools, Akron seems to be the biggest one, cutting sports. Is McNeese thinking of anything, or is everything on the table, or is it you guys seem to be okay for now?
We're okay for now. The NCAA has not reduced their criteria of what it means to be Division I. You know, you still have to have 14 sports to be Division I. So if we start cutting, we're at 14. So if we start cutting, we've made a decision then to go something below Division I. A lot of these other sports might have had 20 sports in play, and they were trimming down. So for us, that's not an option right now. As far as trimming sports,
we have seen some talk of schools on your level talk about dropping football. McNeese without football seems unthinkable.
Yeah.
But there's a reality to the money of this is, can McNeese survive a year financially with no football?
We can survive. We can survive, but you know, that would be very difficult on the institution. But the institution would have to make a commitment to make it survive. And so, yeah, we can survive, but we don't want to go down that road because, you know, a big part of our budget comes from our athletic ticket sales, and it's specifically football ticket sales, game guarantees, you know, sports sponsorships, and so a lot of that comes into play if you don't have football.
And my next question is, have you heard anything about the social distancing at football games or at events in general? And, you know, I've heard Ohio State say 40 to 50%. Well, that's great because they're still in the 75,000 range or something.
Yeah.
But you got a Michigan guy who says if we don't have any on-campus stuff, we're doing no football. Will McNeese, one, be looking at how many people they have to have in the stands, and two, is would you play football if there was no on-campus learning?
Yeah, we would. We would still play football as long as we can have fans show up at the stands. It does us no good if we can't sell tickets. We would be better off not playing football without fans. We save more money. We would save money by not playing. You know, so for us, it's kind of an all or nothing. We want fans in the stands, and we would have plans if we had to social distance, if we had to go down that road. I'm still not convinced at this point that our community is going to, you know, where we're going to be as a community will be anywhere near those types of restrictions.
When we come back at Ion Sports, we're going to talk more about sports in general. But we have to deal with this. Unfortunately, this is the big elephant in the room. When we come back with Daryl Burckel on Ion Sports, we'll be right back.
I got hurt in a car wreck and some creepy insurance guy tried to get me to sign something.
Stop! Don't sign a thing!
After your car wreck, don't get cheated. Stop, think, and call me first.
In my case, Gordon got me $235,000. After a car wreck, stop, think, and get Gordon.
Better not stall if you want it all. You better make that call.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Just call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
Faith and family. Growing up in Louisiana, I was taught these were the things that mattered most. My wife and I have worked hard to pass along these kinds of values to our 4 children. Teaching these values isn't always easy, but it's definitely worth it. Right, John Gordon?
Right, Pops.
Relationships are the most important thing in life. That's why at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, the money we get our clients is important, but the relationships we build with our clients is what matters most.
Get Gordon. Call 888-8888.
We're back with Daryl Burckel, president of McNeese State University, and I guess the next question is, now that we're talking money, is sponsorship.
Sure.
You guys as a program, football, you got a new coach coming in.
Yeah.
You had made some progress the year before as far as entertainment value goes. Basketball was going well. Baseball coming off an NCAA tournament. And all of a sudden, all this momentum.
Softball was on fire.
Yeah, they were off to a great start.
Softball was off to a great start.
And all of a sudden, it stops.
Right.
Well, that's one thing, but also all the sponsorship starts. And now you're in a community that's suffering. How is that going to affect what you guys do moving forward? Because sponsorship is so much of what you need.
Yeah, you know, well, we have a contract with Learfield, who we have basically given a third-party contract that we've had now for quite a few years, and still have 3 years on that contract that guarantees us certain amounts. And so we're kind of talking to them right now to see where that's going, but we have a contract, that allows us to receive a certain amount of money every year for the sponsorships that they sell on behalf of the institution.
So you have at least a streamline coming in.
We do.
But obviously, all coaches have to go out and sell their programs for
Right.
travel and that. Money games are important. There's talk of the big schools not playing the money games because they don't want to travel. And your ability to travel across country now is being talked about.
Yeah.
How much of an impact will that have on the whole general look of college football, especially because football is the moneymaker?
Yeah. Well, if you look at, let's say, the Power Five, and you look at the number of people they put in the stands, the sports sponsorships, the television contracts, all of the things that lend to funding their athletic departments. You start taking that away, when you start dipping into reserves, or if you don't have reserves, athletic departments are going to be significantly impacted by this. And there's no telling, Jim. There's no telling how we come out of this or which structure schools come out of, or do we stay the same? Do you wind up finding that that institutions start to cut back, let's say, on the number of coaches, or on how do they save money? What do they do to save money if there's declining revenue? Because somewhere along the line, you have to make the expenses equivalent to the revenue you have.
One of the things and I've talked about this with you and other people before about kind of the regionalizing college sports more so.
Mm-hmm.
So your travel doesn't cost as much, so there's more interest locally. Has the conference ever talked about in this situation? Because in chaos, I always say there's opportunity.
Yeah.
Has the conference talked about limiting travel so where you don't play Abilene every year, you don't play down in San Antonio, but divisionalizing it so that you play mostly Louisiana and they play mostly Texas?
Yeah, I think one of the things we're looking at is trying to expand our conference. And if we can expand the conference, I think we can get into an East-West type division where you play more divisional games. The Louisiana schools and the Texas schools will play. We're also looking at, if we expand, there are possibilities that there are some schools at the mid-major level that may step down. They may not necessarily stay where they are. And so if they're looking at stepping down, we may be a logical place to find someone who's looking to come down a step. Instead of trying to take a lower level school and bring them up, we might actually have opportunity to bring some schools in that are at the mid-major level that are saying that that they're having to cut back, so they're just going to step down.
Not to point fingers, but I would say two that I would see right away would be Monroe and Rice.
Yeah,
would be two schools. You're talking schools like that.
Yeah, or you might have UT San Antonio, Texas State. You might have North Texas. Schools like that
have been in the league.
That have been in the league that may be looking at the possibility of we might have to step back.
Oh, that's interesting. Sticking on the money situation.
Yeah.
You have now got a situation in college, baseball especially, but spring sports, where you have a fifth group of kids coming in.
Yeah.
Scholarship-wise, is scholarships going to be extended to those kids, or how is that going to play out?
We did. We made the commitment to extend the scholarships to those spring athletes, those seniors. And so...
does that affect the freshman class coming in?
No. No, this is money that we're picking up as an institution to pay. And, for us, when you think about it, when you have scholarships that are basically tuition, right? If we say, listen, we're going to make sure that all the scholarships you have are tuition, going to pay your tuition, then it's a non-cash issue for us. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's the revenue. We have a revenue and expense that's non-cash. So we have a student who's coming to school and there's no cash out of their pockets, no cash out of the institution's pockets. So all of those students are having their scholarships honored for the for this year coming up.
Well, that's because I know a couple of kids that I personally know that go to other schools have said they were not getting their scholarships renewed, and therefore they're not going to stay in school.
Right.
They have to go out and make money. With that in mind, though, there is a logjam of kids on that team. Is the conference doing anything to extend a roster or anything for that? Or
I think in baseball especially, I think they're going to extend that roster a little bit to account for that. With the details of that, I'm not sure, but I think softball and baseball will extend those rosters.
It's kind of a weird situation because those coaches are recruiting kids that haven't played in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And aren't going to play much in the summer, so you're really seeing kids based on a year and a half ago. which is going to be interesting with the Major League Draft too today that's taking place.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
That's going to be
real
interesting thing that's going on. A lot of things people don't understand about that.
But we also have seen is that not every senior wants to come back. Even though we extended scholarships, a lot of them have made choices that no, I'm going to get on with my career. I've graduated. I have a job offer. I'm just going to move on.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is
it's not everyone.
Nobody in college baseball is a full ride, really.
No.
So they have to make family decisions based on money they have to output anyways. So yeah, I would have been a hard case to go back for another year.
Yeah.
So I understand that. Looking at the whole thing overall, have you learned anything from this sports-wise on what's needed to be done? Is the conference taking a look and said, hey, we're on the right track, or this is what we've learned and what we can do?
Yeah, I think we've looked at how can we save money, and really the savings comes from travel. That's where the real savings for our athletic events are. When you have to travel numerous games, let's say basketball is where you find it the most. Most travel with men's and women's. So maybe we can make some structural changes in our schedules that will allow us to recognize these savings over the long term. We can rethink this and think about how we can do that. I'm hoping that we can rethink how we do our tournament at the end of the year to maybe restructure our basketball tournament so that we can, instead of sending 8 teams to Katy, we can have a play-in method where we can actually hopefully get fans at those home games as they play into the playoffs to get to Katy.
Yeah, a conference championship game between you and Lamar in one of the two cities would be.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Last year we played Lamar in Katy.
Yeah.
It would have been much better if we played Lamar or at McNeese.
Exactly. You would have gotten more interest.
Yeah.
You would have gotten a better crowd. You would have probably made more sponsorship money for that one day.
Right.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better game. When we come back, we're going to actually turn to some bright spots at McNeese and see where we're going in the future with Ion Sports.
I can still remember Charlotte's first day of kindergarten like it was yesterday. Now, she's heading off to college. So how are you feeling?
I'm nervous. I'm also really excited.
You know you're the first McKernan to not go to LSU in decades. Promise me this, you'll wear purple and gold at all the UT football games.
Dad.
Letting go isn't easy, especially for this Louisiana dad, but our children know family is always there for them. Just like when our clients come to us for help, they'll always be part of the Get Gordon family. We want to be your lawyers for life.
Call 888-8888.
Raylan Jenkins here for Southwest Louisiana Eats. We're in downtown Lake Charles at Tijuanitas Fish Camp, 723 Ryan Street. And of course, these are some of the friendly faces you can see when you get here. Now, they're unveiling some of their new menu items, and Chris is going to tell us all about it.
Yes, sir. We have our Caribbean stuffed tuna right here, which is a stuffed tuna, deep fried in breadcrumbs, also topped with our mango pico, homemade sauce. Everything on the dish is very fresh. We also have a jambalaya burrito here with a homemade aioli sauce, our Baja tacos with our fresh sassy sauce, and our honey bourbon barbecue shrimp.
All of this looks so delicious. I'm ready to bite into it. But first, tell us about Waiter.
We have all available options ready for order. Everything else that you need is ready to order. All you need to do is a click away.
And there we go. Of course, we're at downtown Lake Charles at Tijuanitas Fish Camp, 723 Ryan Street. And I'm so excited. You need to be here trying it for yourself. And of course, we're looking forward to much more coming your way. This is Southwest Louisiana Eats.
I'm Russ Silvers. You're watching CBS Lake Charles.
We're back with Dr. Daryl Burckel from McNeese State. And Dr. Burckel, you referee football games.
Yeah.
High school football games. What's high school football going to look like?
I bet high school comes back a lot quicker than everyone else does.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I think they tried to come back in the spring.
They tried
stopped, didn't they?
They did. Yeah.
They tried to come back early spring, so I think they'll be back. I think our high school students will be back, and they'll be playing football.
Yeah, you can't stop certain things. As that goes, when you come back as a program fully, now football's practicing now, right?
The student athletes are back on an individual basis, right? Working out, getting in shape. They now have access to the weight room, to the training room. They have access to all of the facilities that they were locked out of.
One thing is, as they come back, is football going to look different for a kind of a spring training camp because they didn't have that spring is there talk about kind of extending the workouts so that they get some of that back? Or
I'm not sure, Jim. They haven't even been given the timetable of when they can actually start practicing. So for instance, when can you start true practice, team practices? Used to, we started early. We were doing team things throughout the summer, and then when August 1st came, we started camp. I'm not sure when we're going to start camp now, and when we're going to allow team activities to kind of take place. So,
do you see that as a state thing that's going to be determined, or will it be by parish?
That comes down from the NCAA. I mean, they generally give us criteria to follow, like just the reopening. They gave us criteria and guidelines. They didn't say do this or do that. They just said, here's the guidelines you want you to follow. So now every institution will institute that they feel best fits them.
Yeah, I think the NCAA is under a lot of heat this fall. I think it's going to be a tough job for the NCAA.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they're waiting for the NFL to lead the way.
I think they're probably waiting for anybody to lead the way. I thought by now we'd have baseball.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I think that becomes now a contract dispute more than anything else. But I thought baseball would be smart, start July 4th and say, we're kicking off the return of America.
Right.
And instead, they've, baseball-wise, ruined them their opportunity to do something because that's what they do.
I was actually watching, I think, a Korean league with no fans in. I think one night, I was turning the station and there was a baseball game with Korean teams, and nobody was in the stands.
No, that's
was kind of weird.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that experience is.
I don't know if we'll have that. I think we'll have some fans.
Yeah.
I think Americans are going to do what Americans are going to do.
I say just watch what happens around here in the next 3-4 weeks in Lake Charles, in the Calcasieu Parish area. The people will give you an indication of their comfort level about what they believe about this virus.
Well, I think they gave it to you when they opened up the casinos. They were out lined up 3 hours before to get in. That's the first thing they were. So I think that's what people will do.
Yeah.
But you do. There does become a point where talk like it's not just football, it's not just basketball. There's the band you got to consider. Right. Because they're in close proximity. Mm-hmm. There is the on-campus that you have to consider of you want kids to be a part of the community. You're asking kids to go out into the community. You don't want to lose that.
No, I don't know how you come back if you have to say we have to be 6 feet apart from each other. How do you have anything?
No, how do you
do anything? I mean, how do you have student activities? How do you have Greek activities? How do you have band? How do you have football if we're supposed to have 6 foot between us? How do you play football?
I don't. Easy first downs, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, look. Do you realize that we're playing travel baseball right now?
Yeah.
They're playing. The little kids are playing baseball.
They're playing summer college baseball.
So.
No, nothing. There's a lot of things that are going on that people don't know.
Right.
Little League as a general group is, but youth baseball's going on.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
That's why I find it interesting. Why I don't want the pros coming back, and you got all these little these travel teams playing all around the country.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand the gym situation. Okay, you don't want people to get sick in the gym. 90% of the people in the gym are the most healthy people we got.
Yeah.
And they're going to take care of themselves. They seem to be the ones that should guide the way to go. I mean.
Well, I didn't understand some of the criteria. We don't want the kids in the gym. Well, if they're in the gym alone shooting, who are they hurting? I didn't get the criteria.
I don't know.
I've lost the common sense has left the room sometimes.
I left the room years ago. Unfortunately, I think it left the room years ago. But I would agree with you on that. One thing that is interesting for you guys is the fact that it seems like you guys are kind of this school that is at times too high profile for the Southland. At times, the Southland brings you down. Now, that's my opinion. Do you see a place where, with all this settled in, that you can fit into a new place, or do you really think the Southland can get these new schools and kind of revive itself?
I'm hoping that we can have kind of a renaissance in the Southland, and get some teams that may be thinking about taking a step back and bring them back in, or bring them in if that's a possibility. Other than that, though, there has to be a place to go.
Yeah.
And if we decided that it was in our best interest to go elsewhere, it would have to financially be feasible to do something.
It'd be pretty hard to do
like
right
this.
now.
It'd be very difficult to do, especially the way a lot of these conferences are organized with the travel budgets you have to have in order to make those games. And look, if the Power Five do anything to change money games, those schools are going to suffer.
Yeah.
Big time. I mean, I think what ULM plays 3.
Yeah.
And I think ULL plays 2 or 3 a year. I mean, those things are significant to your budget. And if those kind of changes take place, everyone's program is impacted significantly.
Well, you have LSU in 2 years, is it?
Yeah.
So you have ULL this year, you have LSU in 2 years.
We have LSU next year. ULL this year, LSU next year.
So those games, not only, to me, obviously LSU gets you the money, but ULL gets you a lot of local exposure.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose those games.
No, and absolutely not. You know, we want to continue to have those kind of games with ULL. Maybe ULM if we can get something with them, or Tech. You know, maybe get them back on the schedule.
With let me see if I can remember this right. With the game with Southern, seemed to get a lot of interest.
A lot of great interest there.
Do you see games like that, and not just Southern and Grambling, but regional games? Like, it would be great to get Rice in here because you outdraw Rice.
Yeah.
It would be great to see those types of games. Can you get those games here?
I'm not sure if we can get them here, but we can go there. You know, I think we can go there. You have to find if you want to get you have to find a team that travels well. The thing about Southern and Grambling, they travel well.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to bring half the stands for you. So they travel very well. I don't know if you're going to find Rice will travel well.
No, probably I don't think it does.
So it's better. It's in our better interest, instead of paying them to come here, just go let them pay us to play them there.
McNeese going to be all right after this?
We're going to come out stronger, Jim. We're gonna make sure we come out stronger than where we are today.
Well, there you have it from Dr. Daryl Burckel. Thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you.
We'll be back next time on Ion Sports.
After my car wreck, the insurance company kept calling, showing up at my door, trying to get me to sign something.
Stop, don't sign a thing.
After your car wreck, don't get cheated. Stop, think, and call me first.
I got Gordon, and in my case, he got me $195,000. After a car wreck, stop, think, and get Gordon.
Better not stall if you want it all. You better make that call.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Just call me. Get it done.
Call 888-8888.
Watching your son get knocked down isn't easy, whether it's on the field or in life. But it was the times when life knocked John Gordon down that he learned the value of hard work and getting back up. So are you nervous, son?
No, we've been practicing hard and staying focused.
Well, that hard work should pay off this season.
I got this, Pops.
People ask me if JG is going to play in college, but he just wants to work hard and win another state championship. Values like this, hard work and getting back up, what we taught our kids are the same values we believe in at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys.
Call 888-8888.
Hey, Lake Charles, Russ Silvers, your Eye on the Lake guy. Here at Calcasieu Paris Animal Services, this is Nicole, and Abby is looking for a forever home. How do we make that happen?
Come into the shelter, check out the animals that we have, fill out the paperwork, and in a couple of days, you'll be able to take Abby home.
Hi, I'm Lynn, and you're watching CBS Lake Charles at the Lake Charles Farmers Market.